Sir, can you please tell us about how would you describe the overall experience of the conference?
I would consider the conference was splendid because first is the concept itself is something very fascinating. Reality, perception, and thoughts. Because reality is always in these two words, first comes thoughts, then the perception, and your description. So, thoughts, perception, description. So these are three themes which is pertaining to the reality, and what we may look for is that further action. So these are all inextricably intertwined, and I found that the overall concept thought is well thought out, and in that perspective I consider this is a specifically very distinct and have a clarity of thought, and also linking various disciplines. Technology is prevailing in the Indian Institute of Technology, but there is also, as we are aware, that humanities, because without the humanities, science and technology can't exist by itself, because wisdom, beauty are coming from the humanities. So therefore, we have a tendency at present that a steamrolling of science and technology is there, and the humanities are almost thrown out. So this concept of bringing in and in sharing with the disciplines such as psychology, philosophy, and economics and other various disciplines brought together. So that perspective, the dimensions, I would say that is something very fascinating. I also understood that the director and the various heads of institutions of the IIT, excuse me, the different departments, they played as a well-oiled machine so that things can work out very well, and a very large group of BTech students were there, and I had the opportunity to chair one of the sessions on the first day itself, that is about psychology, and the theme there come up is on depression and how AI is capable of predicting and seeing further how it can help in eliminating such emotional disturbances. So I think that is these are all how technology can also integrate with really the human issues and problems. And what I found from this first day and second day, the my lecture was the last one, and it was on quantum psycho-religiotherapy. It is kind of a need of the time, which Dr. Andrew uh, Briggs, one of the keynote speakers, then various others, they were highlighting.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Moving to the next question, sir. Which part of the conference did you find most exciting or interesting, sir?
I think the students, they were presenting about their own research concerned about the human issues. One such I have spoken is about. So what I found the fascinating is about the students' participation. Fortunately, the first day and the second day, I had the opportunity to chair two sessions. And in all those 2 sessions, I found that how the students are looking for problem solving. And I think that problem solving is one of the most important research work and pertaining to our own context. Quite often, we might be considering that, somebody else's, some other cultures, either European or American problems we used to solve. But now India is looking for solving our own problems. I think that is one of the highlights. And the keynote speakers on the last day, I found it started with Andrew Briggs, then Nessin, then myself. So it is not simply highlighting 3 of us, but I found the physical reality, the biological reality, and the mental reality. So I think that this is very complementary, because always we consider that, reduce into the physical reality and maybe in the biological reality. So I was highlighting the mental reality. Often, as in physics, whenever we have the measurement, then only the reality appears. To some extent, when interactions or like the measurements, when there are actions, then only the mind appears. So these 3 are very complementary. And I think these are the grades of the realities which mainly we need to consider. And from the perspectives of science and technology, to only some extent we could understand. So the physical reality, quite often from the philosophical perspective, they have denied. The biological perspective, they will be denying some higher realities for the spiritual traditions. And also, if you look into the modern science perspective, neuroscience and all, they will be thinking just only in terms of cognition, sleep, consciousness, where they don't consider even the high technology institutions like Jodhpur IIT. I was earlier, they did not want to call it as consciousness, but they were saying that biological systems or nonlinear systems. So these are the ways they want to eliminate the mental reality. So therefore, all these perspectives were there in this conference. So I found that it is such a wonderful complementarity in bringing out an integral view of the reality from different dimensions.
Yes, sir.
So
Thank
I
you so
also
much for
congratulate in that way the IIT under the leadership of Karmalkar. I think he is the director,
yes,
and
sir.
also your deans, along with Swami Jidun Dal. That way, Bhaktivedanta Institute is also involved in it, in guiding and establishing and coordinating and progressing in a complementary way. So I found it so fascinating.
Yes,
A
sir. Thank you
religious
for your
institution was also involved in it. So I found it is excellent.
yes, sir.
Sorry.
No problem, sir. Thank you for your insight, sir. Sir, would you like to say about the role of Bhaktivedanta Institute in the conference and also on academic and intellectual landscapes?
Yeah, Bhaktivedanta Institute. I think that my interactions with Dr. T.D. Singh who, as a scientist and also as a spiritual leader, he was involved in our Templeton LIC local initiative, local society initiatives, Metanexus, and various other places. I met him in various institutions in Philadelphia, Villanova, Penn State University, and then many other places. He was such an open and integrating person, friendly with everyone. So I found his vision is continued by Vasudeva Rao as president, and then various other members like Jitun Dal, and many of the members who are already into science and technology, and also the spiritual vision. So that way, they are initiating wonderful progress in coordinating with the science and technology institutions into providing a kind of spiritual dimensions. So that way, I appreciate, and that is also one of the reasons why when Jidun Dhal Maharaj was inviting, I also persuaded my friend Dr. Andrew Briggs to come, and he was so happy to come over there, and he was involving in most of the times, and even I think he was um instrumental in bringing maybe various scientific dimensions to the IIT as well, because the institution was extremely happy with him. I have seen many of the authorities coming in and trying to get him to wider the experimental and the theoretical dimensions of IIT. So I found that it is a catalyst, and in that catalyst, Bhaktivedanta Institute was capable of bringing not only the spiritual dimension but also the research depth, the widening and the deepening of the technological vision in India. So that way, it has a broader perspective could be brought out by the Bhaktivedanta Institute. So I would congratulate Jitun Dhal Swamiji and then various you all who cooperated. And also, I found my book was released at the end in your camp, Bhaktivedanta Institute camp, under the star, um, in front of the fire, and then the cheering crowd. So it was something very fascinating. And I was always thought of sharing and healing people. And I could do maybe along with you that the Bhaktivedanta Institute, this is not only a theoretical but practical. But I didn't get time, or otherwise, I would have brought in some practical dimensions like meditation or hypnagogic state to bring to everyone. Maybe next time when you are all gathering together, it will be interested. I will be interested to bring you in into the practical dimensions, which I am capable of doing.
Yes, sir, definitely, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Uh, Thank you for your words. Moving to the next question, sir. How was your experience with the hospitality and arrangements and the food, sir?
I would say that it was so fascinating and fantastic. Um, yeah, I was with Dr. Andrew Briggs and his wife, Dr. Diana Briggs. So always students, volunteers, and even the leaders, they were all ready to bring out food, and it was very tasty, and which many of those dishes I have never tasted. But that way, it was something you also brought out what is the best in the Odia tradition, the food, and then also the gifts which you as you are giving to the participants, the shawl, and they were all reflecting the Odia culture. So I thought even when I am organizing a conference, I would be interested to get some of those things so that, we can spread the hospitality and also the cultural dimensions of India as a mosaic of cultures, languages, traditions, spiritualities. So all into an integral whole, inextricably intertwining holistic account, a holistic continuum. So I think that this is a kind of miniature of bringing the best in our culture, in our traditions, in our spiritualities, and also the way we understand the reality, the physical, the biological, the mental. So I found it is a holistic account and a holistic continuum in all the work you have done.
Thank you for the articulating it very wonderfully, sir. Sir, would you like to give any suggestions for the upcoming conferences?
I would suggest that you can go on continuing such great thought out concepts so that science technology with the other, maybe we can even think of quantum computing is something which is very fascinating, which is coming in very higher level all over India. So as somebody who is a catalyst in establishing quantum super hub in Calcutta, JIS University, I would suggest that kind of culture, a quantum culture we have to develop in India. And India has possibilities because in Calcutta we have the first Nobel Prize winner C.V. Raman, and we have Satyendra Nath Bose, who single-handedly developed the statistical mechanics and also the Planck's law in a different way. And unfortunately, he didn't receive Nobel Prize, but he is worth more than a few Nobel Prizes. But he did not receive. He was not someone who wanted to pursue something, but he was deeply contributing, and even the British could not understand. Therefore, they have thrown out to dustbin his article. But Einstein found it is groundbreaking. So Einstein translated it, and then from there we have Bose-Einstein statistics, Bose-Einstein condensation, bosons, boson Higgs field, and various other dimensions. So Indian intelligence or Indian intelligentsia is capable of bringing out great contributions. I think 21st century is the century of the flowering of India. We could say very well the 20th century was of Europe and the 21st century is of, and it comes through quantum mechanics, neuroscience, consciousness. So all these bringing together. So that is also one of the reasons why I have brought out that this theme, and also the transformation of the human person. So Indian culture has the ability, but unfortunately, we will be wasting our energy and our talents in concentrating and contributing. So I think the younger generation need to be made into a kind of making quantum leaps in our culture and creating such uh, uh, ecosystem, a quantum ecosystem in our country. India can contribute much to the universal celebration of life.
Thank you very much for your such a valuable suggestion, sir. We would definitely reflect upon that. And one final and important question, sir. Would you like to give any suggestion, any message to students and youngsters?
I would, as I said, the need of the time is to develop a quantum ecosystem, a quantum culture, because science and technology can only contribute. And this quantum computing is the future, but it is also present, and it can be into any discipline. It is into agriculture with AI drones. We can predict, we can harvest, we can predict the diseases. So, and maintain um, the water content, and then irrigation and various other things. And even in drug design, we can have the computing devices we can utilize. And in every field, quantum computing and quantum technologies will be spreading its wings. So that is the way for the next. Sorry. So our students should be aware about this, and they should concentrate. And as Galileo and Newton and various others have fired the imagination of the younger generation, the Indian scientists, they have already done, like, C.V. Raman, and who brought Nobel Prize, the first non-white, and S.N. Bose, and we have various other, and also the women. So there are great women scientists we have. We remember one, the missile woman. So she's so that way we both the men and women, the younger, irrespective of male female division, capable of contributing. So the firing of the imagination of the younger generation, and the younger generation should not think that there will be some kind of support base, there may be some scholarships or funding. None of our scientists look for that. C.V. Raman or SN Bose as self-imposed projects. They were looking for contributing. So in that perspective, our younger generation, not to look for what benefits I may get, what I can contribute. So that way, self-imposed projects, I think we need to. So I did the publication of the book, the writing of the book, integrating these various dimensions, because I have seen. I also had interactions with some of the great minds, Nobel Prize winners. So in front of them, what I felt is that they were making us great. I had the opportunity with Friedrich von Weizsäcker, who used to send me articles when I send a question air, or so then next day itself he will send articles which he has published in the 1950s on the foundational problems in quantum mechanics. And even Niels Bohr's son Bohr, I have found his questions and all elevating us. So that way the great leaders should come down and to lift up and to make our younger generation into quantum leaps or quantum jumps. So I think that is the need of the time, and nobody should look forward. Somebody should lift up. They themselves try to give the best for our country, and also for the wider humanity. So this would be my suggestion, that the leaders should fire the imagination, and the younger generation should take self-imposed projects for the wider humanity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your time and your presence and your insightful words. We
Great.
may,
Mona Lisa,
yes.
thank you for asking wonderful questions. And I appreciate the day you were fully involved in that. And like you, many were the volunteers and also the supporters, and you have done great jobs.